growing up as a pastor's son, seeing the church from inside from the very time I was very little to being a pastor, a church planter myself, what I've noticed is that every pastor, whether or not an existing church or even in a new church, faces kind of three major crises within their time of leadership. That every pastor is going to walk through a personal leadership crisis, a financial crisis, and even a leadership crisis. In the midst of those moments, they can create a ridiculous amount of stress for the leader. Let me take some time and talk to you today briefly about how do you deal with those seasons that are stressful? How do you move forward? How do you learn to respond properly in the midst of those? See, every organization and team has seasons where it's going to be stretching. And in those times of being stretched, stress abounds. And even times where it seems like things are going backwards for a while. It could be a crisis, or it could just be an exceptionally busy season. It could be internal or external issues that are causing the stress at specific times. During these seasons, good leadership is more critical than ever. Mature leaders know the way that they respond in stress will ultimately directly impact the organization and everyone attempting to follow them. Let me give you kind of 5 things to put in your toolbox when it comes to leading your people and your community through times of stress. First thing is, a leader must keep a level head. A leader must display a level of calmness in the midst of crisis. If the leader panics, what happens with his people? They panic. See, trying times test the team. They stress the team. And the leader needs to add a calmness to that situation in the midst of it. Helping assure people that, you know what, everything's going to be okay. God is still in control. This doesn't mean you give a level of false hope, but people should understand reality. But it doesn't mean helping people find their sense of balance in the midst of what they seem hopeless in their minds. The next is, in the moments of stress, a leader has to learn to live steadfastly, to be steadfast. See, there's always going to be temptations to give up when times become stressful. A leader learns to walk by faith and how to keep the team moving forward. Through good times and in those challenging times, a leader has to learn to stand firm. Some of the pastors that I've seen that have lived and gone and led for the long haul, 20 plus years at the same church, they embrace this idea of steadfastness. They walk humbly each and every day when times are good and when times are challenging, but they keep the vision fresh, they continue to move and steer the ship forward. The next is the area of integrity. See, when character is tested during stressful times, a leader has to remain unquestionable in his or her integrity for the health of the team and for the health of the organization. People are going to watch to see how the leader responds. What a leader says, what a leader does, will be taken very seriously and subject to people's own interpretations. This is why you have to strive in the way that you live your life and the way that you lead others to live in a life that's above reproach. The next key piece is live strategically, lead strategically. Decisions are harder to make, but more important during stressful times. The leader has to think strategically for the organization, really helping to steer towards clarity and progress. The next level is be healthy. See, leaders have to remain healthy personally in order to continue to lead the organization. There'll be a tendency to never leave the office, but during times of stress, the leader has to continue to just adjust their life and continue in some of their routine that's healthy for them. For instance, continue to exercise. Make sure you eat well. Be disciplined in your time of rest. The leader must learn to guard his or her heart spiritually, knowing that temptation is especially powerful during times of stress. The health of the leader directly impacts the health of the team. Have you had those moments where you find yourself overwhelmed, stressed out? Considering these 5 suggestions I've given you today to help you navigate those times of stress.